As we agreed, we will make this interview today for our diaspora. So at the beginning, what do you have to tell us about diaspora and what the FPM did so far for the diaspora?
Well, first of all, good evening and welcome here to our offices in Blabil. The diaspora is an integral part of the Lebanese population. It is even 4 times larger than the Lebanese living in Lebanon. And every family has some members, and part of it living abroad, which is an integral part of the Lebanese diaspora. The FPM has always been very attentionate to the Lebanese diaspora all over the world. The president of the FPM, Minister Basil, was Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigrants for over 6 years. And during his tenure, he worked diligently to enhance and promote the relations and the communication with the Lebanese diaspora. First, he started organizing annual and biannual diaspora conferences in Lebanon and abroad, which helped to improve the engagement with a large number of Lebanese that have maintained strong ties with Lebanon but had so far lacked the attention of the Lebanese government. This enabled the engagement of a large number of Lebanese that were becoming more and more interested in Lebanon, in reconnecting with their roots in Lebanon, investing in their country, helping out in their country, and that did a huge success at that time. He furthermore multiplied the number of consulates, Lebanese consulates in cities with a large or significant Lebanese population to bring the service closer to the diaspora, to the Lebanese in their countries of residence, and to improve the service. You know, in some countries, you have to travel several hours by plane to reach the capital where the embassy is and where the consulate is. So bringing the consulate near your residence was a big achievement that helped lots of Lebanese reconnect with Lebanon. Also on the legislative side, our MPs have managed to pass the Lebanese Citizenship Recovery Law, also known as Law 41 for the year 2015. This law allowed anyone of Lebanese descent whose ancestors are registered in the 1920s and 1930s censuses to reclaim his Lebanese nationality through a straightforward and very simple administrative process. And this enabled hundreds and maybe thousands of Lebanese to regain their nationality.
Okay.
Our MPs...
Here I would like to ask you this question.
Yes.
What the benefits did the nationality for expats law provide to the Lebanese diaspora?
Well, it enabled many of them, hundreds and thousands of them, to regain their nationality, to get back their Lebanese identity, their Lebanese passports, to reclaim their to reclaim their roots, to reconnect with Lebanon. So that was essential and very important for lots of them, and very important for us Lebanese Lebanese MPs to enable anyone who's entitled to the Lebanese nationality to regain his Lebanese nationality. Everyone remembers that in 1994, more than 200,000 people were naturalized Lebanese, and they did not, for most of them, were not entitled to get that Lebanese nationality, while people from clear Lebanese descent, whose grandfathers were Lebanese, whose fathers were Lebanese, were denied this possibility. So this law, Law 41 for the year 2015, enabled them to regain that nationality. Unfortunately, Prime Minister Mikati, who's heading the caretaker government now, is refraining from signing hundreds of decrees for entitled Lebanese. But this will end someday. Mr. Mikati will go home sooner or later, and Lebanese law will rule again, and they will be entitled to regain their nationality. So,
Why he's not signing the?
well, in his sectarian mind, in his fundamentalist mind, in his extremist mind, the majority of those Lebanese might be of a certain faith, of Christian faith, to be direct and clear. And Mr. Miati, in his limited sectarian mind, would not sign those decrees. Anyway, this is temporary. Those decrees, sooner or later, will be signed. Sooner or later, Mr. Mikati will go home. He will be liable for his actions, where he has breached the constitution, where he has violated Lebanese law. This is another issue. But this law is a very important law. It has enabled many Lebanese, hundreds of Lebanese and thousands of Lebanese, to regain their nationality and reconnect with their roots and with their heritage. In all cases, that was not the only achievement our MPs did for the diaspora. Our MPs and the president of the Free Patriotic Movement played a pivotal and decisive role in passing the new electoral law. This new electoral law that enabled the Lebanese diaspora to vote in their countries of residence. And many of them have done that in 2018 and 2022. And that was the achievement of Minister Basil.
Mm-hmm. Before
But I don't want to truncate it here. Yeah. This law enables the diaspora in the coming elections to elect 6 MPs by themselves that will represent them. They will be the pure product of the diaspora mood, and they will represent the diaspora interest and concerns in the Lebanese parliament and in the Lebanese politics. So these are 2 big achievements that were made in the parliament for our diaspora. First one is Law 41 2015, which is the nationality, the citizenship recovery law, and the electoral law of 44 2017, the new electoral law that enabled them to vote in their countries of residence and to elect 6 MPs that would be that would carry their interests and their concerns in the Lebanese parliament and in the Lebanese politics.
Okay. We will talk about the election part, but I have one small question regarding the nationality. Did we miss something? Should we do something more? Because as we see, only few hundreds individuals apply.
Well, actually, there has been an increasing number of individuals applying for the recovery or regaining their citizenship, their Lebanese nationality. The problem was with Prime Minister Miati refraining from signing the decrees for the for the Lebanese that were entitled, for the entitled Lebanese, This has caused some slowing in the demands, seeing that the Prime Minister is not signing the relevant decrees. What we have to do is to face Mr. Miati, the caretaker Prime Minister, who's been violating Lebanese law and constitution. We're doing that through a parliamentary petition that asks for him to be brought before the tribunal, the special tribunal for judging the presidents and the ministers, and all the political action that the Free Patriotic Movement is leading against this caretaker government and all the parties that are backing it up in violating and breaching the Lebanese constitution and Lebanese laws.
Okay. Regarding the election, why all the parties refused the 6th member of the parliament for the diaspora?
Well, actually, the law has stipulated that in 2022, the diaspora would have their 6 members and they would have the choice. Either come to Lebanon and vote for the MPs in their districts or vote for the 6 diaspora MPs. Unfortunately, some MPs had proposed an amendment to that law to delay this right till 2026. This law was passed in the parliament. The president sent the law for review by the parliament, and this is the right of the president. He sent it. The parliament voted with 59 of its members to delay this right to 2026, which was insufficient. That was the number or the majority that was needed was 65 votes. The Speaker of the Parliament announced it was adopted. We appealed to the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council could not convene at that time, and the delaying was effective because the Constitutional Council could not convene. So the fact that the Constitutional Council did not convene did not make that law constitutional, which means the law was defunct. Unfortunately, it was applied, and that right was delayed till 2026. But in 2026, this will happen. Why it happened? Well, I explained a little bit maybe the intricacies of the political game that happened, but the interest lying underneath was the fact that the Free Patriotic Movement at that time was not able and was not funded enough to make the campaign abroad, while the other parties that were part of the October 2019 coup d'etat, which they called revolution, and what it was nothing but a coup d'etat well funded by some foreign powers, they were well funded to make the campaign abroad. So it was just aimed
to fight the FPM and
to fight the FPM, or to bring the fight to a territory where the FPM will not be able to match the campaign, the well-funded campaign that some parties of the so-called opposition, because of course they're not an opposition, they're part of the system, and this one we can discuss till the morning. So I can bring all the arguments that they are part, an integral part of the system, of the regime. They wanted to bring the fight to a territory where we cannot or we are not well prepared and we are not well funded to make it.
Regarding the election,
Yes.
well, as we can see that the last election in the diaspora, it wasn't in favor of FPM. So why you are still fighting for this law?
Exactly. I said, well, the diaspora will produce the 6 MPs that will fit their political mood. The problem was in 2022 that the FPM, after the loss of our deposits, like any other Lebanese, we lost our deposits in the banks. We were not able to bring the campaign or to go with the campaign to all the diaspora countries, while other parties that were funded by foreign powers were able to go and campaign in these countries. Well, I can tell you that that there were some countries where I or many of our MPs were not given the visa on time to go for the campaign, while other MPs were given all the facilitation by those countries to go and make the campaign. So that's why all that was orchestrated, all that was achieved anti-constitutionally, and that was proved by the fact that the Constitutional Council could not pronounce a judgment on that, because he could not refuse our appeal constitutionally and he could not accept it politically. So that was the proof why in the diaspora we were not we were not the first ranking.
So in 2026, there will
In
be
2000
better results.
In 2026, it will be another ball game. The diaspora will produce its own candidates, and the diaspora will vote for their candidates. And of course, it will be another political environment where we will be more prepared. The diaspora will be more prepared, and the candidates will be able to make their campaigns.
Lebanese political view now. Regarding the presidency, what is happening right now in Lebanon?
Well, to speak about what's happening right now, we have to maybe to draw the frame. Well, since the onset after the elections in 2022, the parliamentary elections, it was clear that the fragmentation or the division inside the new elected parliament made it that no single party or single political alliance is able to determine the outcome of the presidential elections. And in July of that summer, the president of the FPM, after a meeting with the patriarch, the Maronite patriarch in Diman, said that we need national consultations and national consensus on a president, because no party is able to ensure the required majority to elect a president. And if you're not capable to ensure the required majority and you don't want to talk to the others, so you don't want a president of the republic. And since day one, we were saying that we need to talk to each other to agree on a candidate that would be acceptable, first of all, by the Christian community, because we live in a consociational democracy where some offices are reserved to some confessions. So the president is Maronite, the prime minister is a Sunni Muslim, the speaker of the house is a Shia Muslim. If we're in a cabinet of 24, 12 are Christians, 12 are Muslims, and this is we have 128 MPs, 64 are Christians, 64 are Muslims. This is our consociational democracy, and we're not the only country. There are more than 26 countries in the world, even in Europe, that live in a consociational democracy. So this is not something to be ashamed of. Okay? Of course, I would have loved to be living in a civil Lebanon, where everyone is regarded for his persona and his civil contribution to the country. But unfortunately, this is not the mindset. This is not the case. So, in our system, the president of the republic, who's a Maronite Christian, should be first of all accepted by his community.
Exactly.
So that's why we needed, as Christian MPs, first and foremost, to agree on a persona and an agenda, and that person that we will agree on, that candidate we will be agreeing on, should not be hostile to the other part. Of course, it should be accepted by the other part, but we should choose him. So it is not to be imposed on us by any other by any other party or any other part of the country. So in this case, all our appeals were faced by non-responding Christian parties. Some people didn't want to talk, and we were always repeating the same logic. If you don't have but 31 MPs, and you don't even have the blocking minority, and you don't want to speak to anyone, so that means that you don't want a president. If you want a president and you don't have the required majority, you don't have the 65 votes, and you don't have the required 86 MPs that would be present at all times to be able to elect a president, and you don't want to talk to anyone, so you don't want a president. You're just gaining time or losing time. So, and very precious time for the Lebanese economy, for the Lebanese people, for the Lebanese interests. So all of that is not acceptable, and that's what we have been voicing since day one. All that is coupled with the Shia unwavering stance on Slimane Frangieh, who lost in the last election the approval, if you want, of the Christian community.
Okay, do you think they really want Slimane Frangieh, or just they are happy without president?
Well, look, I'm a politician. I'm not a political analyst.
Okay.
I might have my opinion, but that remains for me. I'm a politician. I state my position. I'm not entitled, or I'm not expected to go and discuss others' positions.
Okay,
others'
let me
positions,
rephrase the question.
Others' positions should be addressed to them, not to me. So I would state my position. So all of that, our position was from day one that we need a dialogue, consultation between each other, first as Lebanese, as Christians, and second as Lebanese, to reach a consensus. So, since no one of us has the required majority to determine the outcome of the elections. That's for one. For two, the country does not afford or does not have the luxury of wasting precious time on the Lebanese economy and on the Lebanese people and on the Lebanese who are leaving the country, and with all the problems that we have that start with the war in the south and ends and does not end with the Syrian displaced crisis or the loss of the deposits or the bank's bankruptcy, to waste it on fruitless politics. So let's go agree on a president, on an agenda, and let's go elect that president.
But
Of course,
we as citizens, we can feel that they don't care. They don't want a president.
Okay, but
They are happy. They are doing everything.
yes, but you cannot feel that the only party working and doing its utmost to reach an agreement for the presidency is the Free Patriotic Movement. So, if we're not going that way, the way of consultations and dialogue on a name and on a program and a mutual commitment to back the president in the next 6 years to get the country back on its feet, to get the economy back on its feet, then we are left with one and only solution, which is not preferable to the first one, but it is to go to the parliament and hold an open session with successive voting rounds, and the one that would reach 65 votes would be elected president. The parties would be happy with that, will go and cooperate with him, and they will form the next government with him. And those who will not be happy with that, they would go and oppose him. And this is democracy. Okay. So, those are the two only solutions to get out of the present deadlock. We stated that back in July 2022, and it is still valid now in March 2024. And I hope I wouldn't repeat that in July 2024.
Okay. Regarding this issue and what the Miati government is doing, so well, we have seen an escalation in rhetoric from the leadership of the Tayyar, okay, and hints about resorting the civil disobedience. So, what the Tayyar will do next?
Well, the Tayyar will do all what would be necessary to stop the violation of the Lebanese constitution and the Lebanese laws that this illegitimate government is perpetrating. This government lacks the parliamentary legitimacy. This government did not get the vote of confidence of this parliament, of the newly elected parliament. This government is a caretaker government. It is not entitled, even if it had the vote of confidence, a government is not entitled to all the actions that Miqati is perpetrating. So, we will do all what would be necessary to stop this government from violating the Lebanese constitution, from setting new precedents in Lebanese government that would be harmful to the partnership that this country is based upon, that would be harmful to our consociational democracy, the very democracy that this republic, the Second Republic, the Lebanese Second Republic, was founded upon. So anything that would be required will be done. And there is no limits to that. We will not stop at anything to curb the course of this government from violating the Lebanese constitution and violating the Lebanese laws. We started with a petition, with a parliamentary petition, to bring the Prime Minister to trial before the High Council for judging the presidents and the ministers. And several MPs have pledged to sign it. This will bring this Prime Minister to tribunal, and we will judge him with breaching Articles 301 and 306 of the penal law, which is attempting to change the Lebanese constitution by illegal and illegitimate means. And if this will not pass, we will do anything that would stop this government from continuing in its course, which is an illegal, illegitimate, unconstitutional course.
And as we can see right now that FPM is all alone. Will he be able to make any success regarding this?
Well, as General Aoun has said it and stated it many times, we've always been alone in what everyone at some point considered it to be an impossible fight. And we always prevailed. And people will join us. Let me remind you, between 1990, 1989 and 2005, we were the only people fighting for sovereignty, freedom, and independence. But in 2005, we were joined by other Lebanese factions, and we were able to achieve sovereignty and independence. Now, we have no problem to be alone and to start the fight alone. People will realize at some point in time, everyone at some point in time will realize the legitimacy of our fight and will join in, and we will always prevail. We've always done it, we'll do it now, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it anytime. Anytime, Lebanese constitution, the essence of our Lebanese unity is our partnership. When you break this partnership, you're just threatening, you're endangering the Lebanese unity. You're just bringing the country to its knees, and we will not accept it. Because the Free Patriotic Movement is always, and I claim it, the only Lebanese political, the pure Lebanese political party on the scene.
I have a few questions regarding Hezbollah.
Yes.
What about the relation now? What's the status with Hezbollah? And regarding the war in South Lebanon and in Gaza. So let's start about the situation, the status with Hezbollah right now.
Well, the relationship with Hezbollah was governed by a memorandum of understanding that was signed back in 2006. And let me emphasize, first of all, that this memorandum of understanding is a political paper, public political paper that was declared in February 2006, and that was open to all Lebanese parties to join in, to participate. Regrettably, many of them did not, because they had maybe foreign commitments, specific interests, personal agendas, I don't know. Although this memorandum of understanding addressed 10 national issues of significant importance that no Lebanese citizen could ignore or could argue about. And that was based on three main pillars or principles. First of all, rebuilding the Lebanese state, the Lebanese institutions, and fighting the pervasive corruption. Second is our national unity through our consociational democracy and partnership in governing the country, all of us, all Lebanese factions would, and all Lebanese parties with significant legitimacy, popular legitimacy, obtained through the elections, would join in governing the country. And three is the right of Lebanon to self-defense against any foreign aggression. So the memorandum of understanding was based on those three pillars. First of all, on the first pillar, rebuilding the Lebanese state and the state institutions and fighting corruption, it is of no use to remind the Lebanese of our clashes with Hezbollah for not standing with us against the obstruction of our efforts to rebuild the state institutions, to fight corruption, etc. Our clashes at the Council of Ministers, at Parliament, in Parliament, are a good evidence and were well publicized all along. So on the second front, we came to the partnership, the respect of our consociational democracy. So their backing to the Mikati caretaker government that is violating the Lebanese constitution, Lebanese law, their unwavering stance on Sleiman Frangi against the will of the Christian MPs, which is a must in our consociational democracy again, all of that was a breaking point with Hezbollah lately, and additionally came on the last principle, which was our right to self-defense, and not to engage in a war that was not waged against us, that was waged against some other country. And so this unity in the fronts with Israel, we're not concerned with it. We're just concerned with defending the Lebanese people against Israel or any other country aggressing us. So that dealt the final blow to that memorandum of understanding. But again and again, and I have repeatedly mentioned it in the media for the last month or two, the Free Patriotic Movement is still bound to respect its signature and has not changed his position on any of the 10 points of agreements in the Memorandum of Understanding. Neither we changed our mind on any of those three pillars on which this agreement rests.
But they are not helping.
But they're not helping. When they come back to those points, to the respect of those 10 points in the Memorandum of Understanding, will be there. So in Lebanon, we do not have enemies in Lebanon. So, while having different political views, clashing in politics, in the Council of Ministers, in Parliament, with Lebanese parties, the Free Patriotic Movement has always worked and strived at achieving understandings with all the Lebanese parties. We do not breach hostility with any Lebanese. We do always seek understanding with the Lebanese, but understanding on Lebanese interests. We cannot agree on any interest that extends or stretches outside the Lebanese borders. Our agreement will always be on the Lebanese interest. We do not have any other interest. Of course, I don't want to be simplistic and say that we're living on an isolated island and we do not interact, or we don't have we don't feel any effect or repercussion of what's happening all around us. Of course, we will feel, we will be sensitive to anything that is happening all around us, but that should not govern our politics. What should govern our politics is protecting our people, is the interest of our people, is the interest of Lebanon and its unity. So if we do not respect the basis on which this nation has been built, which is partnership between the different factions in Lebanon, or the partnership across our segmental cleavages, as would Harry Eichmann describe it, we will be destroying our country. Mm-hmm. We would be only favoring a political agenda that just contradicts anything Lebanon stands for. Well, dealing such a blow to Lebanese unity and nourishing the sense of division in the country is just serving Israel, because Israel wants to have those confessional entities and confessional states in this region, just to justify its presence as a Zionist Jewish country. Lebanon is a diverse country. It embraces diversity. It's a country for all. We do not refuse the other. Anytime we attack and we harm this partnership or destroy this partnership, we're harming our unity and we're favoring the Israeli program or Israeli agenda in the region that consists in creating those confessional fundamentalist states that would always justify its presence as a Jewish entity, refusing rights to any other religion, ethnicity, or race but their own.
In your perspective, how the Hezbollah will explain the intervention supporting Gaza, knowing that so far I don't know if there was any success, and how this intervention
Again,
really helped Gaza.
again, I'm a politician. I'm not a political analyst, so
Okay.
I state my position,
In your
and I
perspective.
don't go discussing what would the others,
Okay, how they will explain
how
this?
would the others justify their position. That
But
should be
what do
asked.
you see?
That should be asked to them. In any case, I see that they failed at convincing the Lebanese people and at justifying their action in the south.
Did they
To be frank,
convince you? Yeah,
to be frank,
in your point of
we
view.
went on stretching our logic to accept the first attack on the 8th of October on the Sheba farms. Sheba farms being Lebanese land, and to show our deterrence force to deter Israel from any action on our border. But we do not accept linking our borders and the hostilities on our borders to the hostilities in Gaza. We do not accept saying that the hostilities in South Lebanon will not stop till the hostilities in Gaza stop. Sayyid Hassan said, and we believe him, that Hamas started the war without consulting with him, without coordinating with him, and he did not know about it. So I conclude that the ultimate authority on that was Hamas. And when we say we will not stop the hostilities in South Lebanon till the hostilities stop in Gaza, then the ultimate authority on that would be Hamas also. So we're not with, we will be always against to put our security and the security of our people in the hands of foreign entities, which is Hamas in this case. That does not mean that we would be with Israel or we would be against the Palestinian cause. At the contrary, and General Aoun has stated it very clearly. He said we have the reasons of the brain, we have the reasons of the heart, and the reasons of the interest. With your reason, first of all, does the Palestinians have the right to their land? Is it okay to kick people from their own land to occupy it? And so, by reason, is this right? No, it isn't right. Then we are with those people, with these people, with those guys, to reclaim their land and their territory. The reasons of the heart. When you see this destruction machine, this killing machine, this Israeli killing machine, killing innocent civilians, children, women, old people, that does not move you? Of course you would have sympathy for those people, that are, for those innocent civilians that are massacred by the Israeli war machine. Of course. And then the reason of interest. It is in our interest that the Palestinians regain their state or their territory, because we cannot bear hundreds of thousands of refugees, Palestinian refugees, in addition to the Syrian displaced, on our territory. We have a very small territory that is barely capable to host the Lebanese, to cater for the Lebanese, and we cannot bear all those people on our land. We want the Palestinian problem to be resolved so that the Palestinians could go back home. So that's another reason that we want, that we are with the Palestinians in their struggle. But that does not mean that I will endanger the Lebanese in a war that was started by Sinwar in Gaza, and where I don't have any say in that. No, excuse me, no. So that's the nuance on that position.
MP Cesar Khalil, to finish, final words, but I want them in the Lebanese سعيد عقل way. شو بدك تقول للدياسبورا عن لبنان بالعربي
باللبناني
وباللبناني
in the سعيد عقل way it should be in Lebanese, not in Arabic.
So طريقة سعيد عقل باللبناني
you say you know Lebanese, and Lebanese is a language.
Yeah.
Lebanese is a language. There is a linguist that was called Max Weinreich that would say a language is a dialect with an army and a navy. So اللغة هي لهجة مع جيش ومع بحرية، يعني مع حدا قوي تيثبتها. So طالما نحن بدنا نخلي قصتنا ضعيفة ونضل نقول اللبناني لهجة ومش لغة ولهجة، ما بتصير لغة. So لا، اللبناني لغة syntax تبعها. Syntax يعني the way you place the word in the sentence, where the noun falls and where the verb falls, etc., is well known. It has inherited the Syriac and the Aramaic and the Phoenician and the Canaanite. This is a well-known syntax that did not change. Our vocabulary is maybe 70% Arabic and dwindling. Of course, dwindling because many words are coming in from different languages, mainly from English, a lot from French, from Italian before, from Turkish even before. But yes, we have our language. It's a language. It's a full-fledged language. We need to stand by it. We need to stand by it. I know if they can't write it in the Arabic letters, they can write it in the Said Aql letters, which are very, very easy to use. Many people now are just using them while WhatsApping each other. We use them. Okay, the X was for the Hay with Said Aql. Now we use the 7. The CCD was for the glottal A, الهمزة, the glottal A, the glottal A. When you use your yes. So now they use the 2, or A was the Y was a transformed Y. Now they use the 3 for it, but it's just the Said alphabet, and
it's a beautiful language.
It's very beautiful. They can use it. They can use it. They can communicate with it. They can teach it to their children, and that's a way they can keep strong ties with Lebanon, strong ties with their families here.
For the summer.
Of course,
everything will be safe.
Of course. Everything would be safe. Look, I'm not a prophet, nor I can pretend to know what in politics. In politics, you never know. Dale Carnegie would say back in 1933, that was 91 years back. He would say, if I would know that 51% of my decisions are right, I would go down to Wall Street and make $1 million a day. That was a ton in gold at that time. Roosevelt would say, if I would know that 51% of my decisions are right, I would make of America a paradise on earth. So no, I know this is not popular to say, but you base your decision your decisions on the best analysis of the data at hand. So the data at hand might include parameters that you control, you know about, of course, and you control, and parameters you know about and someone else controls. And there are sometimes some relations, parameters that are hidden. So mainly, and that's how politics has always been done since the dawn of times. So you build your best decision, your decision on your best analysis of the data at hand. So sometimes the data at hand might change between now and summer. But I think that no one can afford a war or
No one
an
wants it like this.
enlargement of the hostilities. No one wants the war. I'm not so sure about it. I know the Americans don't want the war because they're playing their elections. I know the Iranians don't want the war, but I'm not sure the Israelis don't want the war. You know, because Netanyahu is playing his political career, and maybe Israel is playing its own existence. So the myth of Israel is falling. The migration out of Israel, what they call the Yerida, is ongoing. They have the Aliyah, when you would be a Jew from the diaspora, and the 1956 Aliyah law allows you to be an Israeli. So, and you come to Israel, that would be the Aliyah. Aliyah, tata'alla, tartaqi. And when you leave, this is the Yerida, the regression. So Yerida is ongoing now. So Israel is playing its own existence. Everyone is going back to his country of origin. So maybe they want the war. So to say they can afford it or they cannot afford it, I think they cannot afford. They want it, but they can't afford it because it will be. They can't win it because at the end, the Palestinians don't have anywhere else to go. This is their land. This is their country. They will fight for it. So they will be here in 10 years, in 20 years, in another 70 years, they will be here. So I hope people will come back to reason. Peace can be achieved in the Middle East. The Beirut Initiative was clear. It is based on rights. It is not based on the force. It is not based on how many fighter airplanes you would have, how many tons of bombs you can drop on innocent civilians. Peace can be achieved by respecting each other's rights. The right to existence, the right to having land, sovereignty, to govern yourself. So this is the way to achieve peace in the Middle East. If Israel will always and will stay on the same course where it has approached all its relations with its neighboring countries by means of force and by means of air superiority and destructive power. It has been tried for the last 75 years and did not achieve peace. The only way to achieve peace is by recognizing each other's rights and respecting those rights. And that's the only way to achieve peace.
Final question. in Lebanese. طيار بعده قوي؟
تيار
جواب ايه او لا؟
التيار بعده قوي وعم بيصير اقوى ومؤتمر التيار الوطني الحر الاخير يلي صار بالويك اند الماضي الجمعه وسبت واحد بين الفايب دي الريل تياري فايب كيف رجع مبين. هيدا عم بيبين معنا بكل البولز اللي عم ناخدهم، يعني الاحصاءات يلي عم بتبين، وهذا ببين معنا نحن كمان كنواب بزياراتنا اليوميه بوجه العالم. ببين معك بعد الديسبشن الكبيره، هي خيبه الامل يلي تلقوها العالم من بعض الشارلاتنز، شارلاتان شو بيقولوا لهم،
الجيلين.
الدجالين بالسياسه يلي خبرون انه هن عم يعملوا مصالحهم and they ended up being part of the system. بينت القصة امبارح بالتمديد لقائد الجيش يلي هو كان انتي كونستيتيوشنال وما كان في له داعي لانه قانون الدفاع واضح مين بيجي. وبالعسكر في تشين اوف كوماند واضحه، ما في يو دونت هاف تو جيس اباوت ات، واضحه الماده 39 من قانون الدفاع واضحه. الاعلى رتبه بحل محله. بتتذكر قد ايه باعونا سياده وقالوا هن سياديين، بس اجت الاوامر روحوا على مجلس النواب، كان صار لهم اشهر عم بيقولوا ولا ممكن ندعس بمجلس النواب، راحوا قطعوا 120 قانون. وين السياده طلعت؟ صار قال هن تغييريين. عملنا التغيير والإصلاح من 2005 لبكرة عشية، كل يوم بمجلس النواب معاركنا القوانين الإصلاحية. نحن بيا ونحن أمه بمجلس النواب. قال هن تغييريين وإصلاحيين، بس إجا الوقت بيخرقوا الدستور ويخرقوا القانون اللبناني. لما إجت التعليمات من برا نزلوا مثل الشاطرين، خرقوا الدستور وخرقوا القانون اللبناني. فبالتالي هيدي كلها واضحة أمام الشعب اللبناني. يمكن في البعض انغش لفترة، إنما الكل اليوم صارت واضحة لأله إنه الحالة اللبنانية الوحيدة، وهيدا ادعائي أنا، على الأرض اللبنانية هو التيار الوطني الحر. هو الوحيد يلي منه دريفن إلا بالمصلحة اللبنانية ومشي تاني غيرها.
استاذ عربي خليل، ثانك يو على الجلسه الحلوه والحديث الحلو، وبدنا نوعد الانتشار انه بدنا نحكي معهم اكثر.
أكيد
ونضل
أنا
تحطهم
I'm
بالجو كل شيء عم بيصير.
at your disposal anytime. I'm ready. بكل بكل اللي بعرفه بنقدر
ثانك يو.
نحكي فيه. شكرا لك.